Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are traveling more than 300 years into the past to explore one of the most fascinating cities in human history, Tokyo in the year 1700. But before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our historical journeys. And don't forget to tell us in the comments, which city would you like us to visit in our next video? Now, let's step into a time machine and travel back to Japan in the year 1700. The city we call Tokyo today was known as Edo. At the beginning of the 18th century, Edo was already becoming one of the largest cities in the world. It was the seat of the Tokugawa shogunate, the military government that ruled Japan. Imagine standing on a hill overlooking Edo in the year 1700. You would not see skyscrapers, highways, trains, or electric lights. Instead, you would see thousands of wooden buildings stretching across the landscape. Smoke would rise from cooking fires. Narrow streets would be filled with merchants, craftsmen, travelers, and samurai. The population of Edo was enormous for its time. Historians believe that around 1 million people lived there during the early 1700s. This made Edo one of the largest cities on Earth. Life in Edo followed a different rhythm than modern life. The day began with sunrise and ended shortly after sunset. There was no electricity. Oil lamps and candles provided light during the evening, but they were expensive. Most people preferred to sleep early and wake early. The city was divided into different districts. Samurai lived in areas near the government centers and castles. Merchants and craftsmen lived in busy commercial neighborhoods. Temples and shrines were scattered throughout the city. At the heart of Edo stood the magnificent Edo Castle. It was one of the largest castles in the world. The shogun, the military ruler of Japan, lived there. The castle served as the political center of the country. The streets of Edo were often crowded. Merchants sold vegetables, fish, rice, tea, clothing, pottery, and countless other goods. Street vendors moved through neighborhoods offering snacks and services. Unlike many European cities of the same period, Edo was surprisingly organized. The government paid attention to city planning and administration. Officials worked to maintain order and reduce crime. Most homes were made of wood. This made construction easier and cheaper, but it also created a serious danger. Fires were one of the biggest threats to the city. People even gave fires a nickname. They called them the Flowers of Edo because large fires happened so often. Entire neighborhoods could disappear in a single night. For this reason, firefighters became important members of society. When a fire broke out, teams rushed through the streets to stop the flames from spreading. Food played an important role in daily life. Rice was the foundation of most meals. People also ate fish, vegetables, tofu, seaweed, and soups. Because Edo was located near the sea, seafood was plentiful. Markets received fresh fish every morning. Fishermen brought their catches directly into the city. One of the most famous food traditions that began to develop during this era was early sushi. It was different from modern sushi, but it represented the beginning of a culinary tradition that would eventually become famous around the world. Bathing was another important part of daily life. Public bathhouses were extremely popular. People visited them not only to clean themselves, but also to socialize with neighbors and friends. Cleanliness held an important place in Japanese culture. Visitors from other countries often noticed how much attention people paid to personal hygiene. Clothing reflected social class. Samurai wore clothing that showed their rank and status. Merchants and craftsmen dressed more simply, although wealthy merchants often owned beautiful garments. Most clothing was handmade. Creating a kimono required skill, patience, and quality materials. Silk garments were expensive and highly valued. Women played important roles within families and businesses. Many helped manage shops, produced goods, handled household finances, and contributed to local economic life. Children were expected to respect parents, teachers, and elders. Family values strongly influenced daily behavior. Religion also shaped life in Edo. Buddhism and Shintoism existed side by side. Temples and shrines were important places for worship, festivals, and community gatherings. Throughout the year, citizens celebrated many festivals. Streets filled with music, decorations, food stalls, and performances. These festivals brought communities together and provided entertainment in a world without television or the internet. Entertainment in Edo was surprisingly rich. People enjoyed storytelling, music, theater, poetry, and artistic performances. One popular form of entertainment was kabuki theater. Kabuki actors wore colorful costumes and performed dramatic stories filled with action, romance, and historical events. Theater districts became major attractions. Crowds gathered to watch famous performers and enjoy exciting productions. Puppet theater, known as bunraku, also attracted large audiences. Skilled puppeteers brought complex stories to life through detailed wooden puppets. Books became increasingly available during this period. Although not everyone could read, literacy rates in Japan were rising compared with many other societies of the time. The growth of publishing helped spread knowledge, stories, and cultural ideas throughout Edo. Nature remained closely connected to urban life. Gardens, parks, rivers, and seasonal flowers brought beauty into the crowded city. People celebrated the blooming of cherry blossoms just as they do today. Families and friends gathered beneath the trees to enjoy their beauty. By the year 1700, Edo had become more than a political capital. It was a living center of culture, commerce, and human activity. Millions of footsteps moved through its streets every year. Merchants negotiated deals. Artists created masterpieces. Samurai served their lords. Children learned new skills. Priests offered guidance. Craftsmen built homes and tools. Every neighborhood contributed to the energy of the city. Although modern Tokyo looks completely different today, many traditions, customs, and cultural values that began centuries ago can still be seen in Japan. And this was only the beginning of our journey. Now, we will explore something that kept the city alive every single day: work, trade, business, and the economy. To understand Edo in the year 1700, we must first understand that it was not just a political capital. It was also an economic powerhouse. Every morning before sunrise, thousands of people began their work. Merchants opened their shops. Craftsmen prepared their tools. Porters carried goods through the streets. Fishermen returned from the sea. Farmers brought food into the city. Together, these workers formed a massive economic system that supported nearly 1 million residents. One of the most important foundations of Edo's economy was rice. Rice was much more than food. It was also a measure of wealth. Samurai lords received income based on rice production from their lands. Taxes were often collected in rice. Economic calculations frequently used rice as a standard of value. Because of this, rice warehouses became important landmarks throughout the city. Large quantities of rice arrived from different regions of Japan. Merchants stored it, transported it, and sold it to consumers and businesses. The movement of rice helped create a sophisticated commercial network. At the center of Edo's economy stood the merchant class. Although merchants ranked below samurai in the official social order, many became extremely wealthy. They operated shops, financed businesses, managed transportation networks, and supplied goods to customers across the city. Some merchant families built fortunes that lasted for generations. Their success came from understanding markets, customer demand, and efficient business practices. Walking through a commercial district in Edo would have been an exciting experience. Rows of shops lined the streets. Some sold clothing. Others specialized in tea. Many offered ceramics, tools, books, paper, medicines, or household goods. Store owners competed for customers through quality products, good service, and strong reputations. Unlike modern shopping centers, many shops also served as homes. Business owners often lived with their families above or behind their stores. Children grew up learning the family trade and eventually inherited the business. Craftsmen formed another essential part of the economy. These skilled workers produced the items people needed every day. Carpenters built houses and shops. Blacksmiths created tools and metal goods. Potters made bowls, cups, and storage containers. Paper makers supplied materials for books and official documents. Weavers produced textiles and clothing. Many craftsmen spent years mastering their profession. Apprentices often began training at a young age. They learned directly from experienced masters through observation and practice. A successful craftsman earned respect for skill, reliability, and quality workmanship. Construction provided employment for thousands of workers. Edo was constantly growing. New homes, warehouses, temples, bridges, and government buildings needed to be built. At the same time, fires frequently destroyed neighborhoods. After every major fire, reconstruction projects created enormous demand for labor. Carpenters became some of the most important workers in the city. Their ability to rebuild quickly helped Edo recover from disasters again and again. Transportation was another major industry. Without trains, trucks, or automobiles, moving goods required human effort. Porters carried products through crowded streets. Boat operators transported cargo along rivers and canals. Horse handlers assisted travelers and merchants. The city's waterways functioned like highways. Boats delivered food, construction materials, fuel, and commercial products to different parts of Edo. Water transportation was often faster and cheaper than moving goods over land. Fishing supported both employment and food supplies. Every morning, fishermen returned with fresh catches from nearby waters. Fish markets became busy centers of activity. Restaurants, street vendors, and households depended on this steady flow of seafood. Fish sellers developed strong relationships with customers and local businesses. Their work helped feed hundreds of thousands of people. The food industry employed countless workers. Farmers outside the city grew rice, vegetables, and other crops. Transport workers brought these products into Edo. Market vendors sold them. Cooks prepared meals. Restaurant owners served customers. Each step created jobs and generated economic activity. Street food became increasingly popular. Busy workers often purchased meals from vendors instead of preparing food at home. This created opportunities for small business owners with limited resources. One important feature of Edo's economy was specialization. Instead of producing everything themselves, people increasingly focused on particular skills or products. This allowed workers to become experts in their fields. Specialization improved quality and efficiency. As a result, consumers gained access to better products and services. The publishing industry grew rapidly during this period. As literacy increased, demand for books expanded. Printers, writers, artists, editors, paper makers, and booksellers all found employment within this growing market. Books became valuable commercial products. Successful publishers earned substantial profits by producing works that attracted large audiences. Entertainment itself became a business. Kabuki theaters sold tickets. Performers gained fame. Musicians earned income. Storytellers attracted paying audiences. Artists sold paintings and prints. The growth of entertainment reflected the increasing wealth of urban society. People had enough money to spend not only on necessities, but also on leisure activities. This was an important sign of economic development. Women also participated in economic life. Many worked in family businesses. Others produced textiles, managed shops, sold goods, or worked in service occupations. Although opportunities were often limited by social expectations, women contributed significantly to household income and local commerce. Government policies strongly influenced economic activity. The Tokugawa shogunate maintained political stability throughout much of Japan. This stability encouraged trade and investment. Merchants could plan for the future with greater confidence. Businesses expanded because large-scale warfare became less common than in previous centuries. Peace created favorable conditions for economic growth. One unique aspect of Edo's economy involved the system known as Senkin-kotai. Under this policy, regional lords were required to spend part of their time in Edo. They traveled with large groups of retainers and servants. Their presence brought enormous amounts of money into the city. Housing, food, clothing, transportation, and services were needed for these visiting officials. As a result, many local businesses benefited. Money flowed through restaurants, inns, shops, and workshops. The city became a center for consumption on a remarkable scale. Luxury goods also became increasingly important. Wealthy customers purchased fine silk garments, decorative objects, expensive ceramics, and artistic works. Craftsmen responded by producing high-quality products that reflected sophisticated tastes. This encouraged innovation and creativity. Competition among producers often led to improvements in design and craftsmanship. Banking and finance began to develop in more advanced forms. Money changers and financial intermediaries helped facilitate transactions. Merchants needed reliable systems for handling payments, credit, and large commercial deals. Over time, these financial practices became increasingly sophisticated. In many ways, Edo was developing features that resembled a modern urban economy. It had large consumer markets. It had specialized professions. It had financial networks. It had transportation systems. It had mass entertainment industries. And it had a growing middle class of merchants and skilled workers. By the year 1700, Edo had transformed from a military center into one of the world's great economic cities. Every street, market, workshop, warehouse, and dock contributed to a complex system that supported nearly 1 million people. The city's success did not depend on a single industry. It depended on the combined efforts of merchants, craftsmen, laborers, fishermen, builders, publishers, entertainers, and countless others. Their hard work created prosperity, opportunity, and growth. And their achievements helped lay the foundations for the modern Tokyo that would emerge in later centuries. Now we will explore something even deeper: knowledge. We will look at education, science, literature, philosophy, and how people in Edo in the year 1700 understood the world around them. So let's continue our journey into historical Tokyo. Education in Edo was not the same for everyone. There were no public schools like we have today, but education still existed in many forms. For samurai families, education was very important. Boys were taught reading, writing, mathematics, ethics, and military skills. They studied Chinese classics and learned how to serve their lords with discipline and honor. Many samurai children attended private learning schools called terakoya, especially in the later Edo period. These were small local schools run by teachers in temples or homes. In these schools, children from merchant and artisan families also learned basic reading and writing. This is very important, because it means that by 1700, Edo had a growing literate population, especially in cities. Children practiced writing with brushes and ink. They copied texts again and again to memorize characters. Discipline and repetition were key parts of learning. Girls also received education in many families. They were often taught reading, writing, poetry, household management, and social behavior. Education was not only about knowledge. It was also about character, respect, and responsibility. Science in Edo was different from modern science, but people were still deeply curious about the world. Much of the scientific knowledge came from observation, tradition, and practical experience. Doctors studied herbal medicine. They used plants, roots, and natural materials to treat illnesses. Many medical ideas came from Chinese medicine, which had been studied in Japan for centuries. Astronomy also existed. Scholars observed the sky, studied calendars, and tracked seasons. Accurate calendars were very important for farming, festivals, and government planning. Mathematics was used in trade, construction, and land measurement. Merchants and craftsmen used calculations in their daily work. There was also a growing interest in Western knowledge, even though Japan was mostly isolated from foreign countries during this time. Some scholars studied Dutch learning, which brought limited European scientific ideas into Japan through trade connections. This included knowledge about medicine, geography, and technology. Even though Edo was not a modern scientific city, it was a place where curiosity and learning were growing steadily. One of the most exciting parts of Edo culture was literature. Books became more available during this period. Printing techniques allowed writers to reach a larger audience. Stories were written for entertainment, education, and moral lessons. One popular form of writing was short fiction. These stories often described daily life, humor, romance, and adventure. Another important form was poetry. The haiku style became especially famous. Haiku are very short poems that capture a moment in nature or human emotion. For example, writers would describe a falling leaf, a quiet river, or the sound of rain. These poems were simple, but very powerful. Reading became a popular activity in cities. People borrowed or bought books and shared stories with family and friends. Bookshops became important places in Edo. They were not just shops, but centers of culture and communication. Writers also gained recognition. Some became famous during their lifetime, especially those who wrote popular stories or poems. Literature helped people understand emotions, society, and human behavior in new ways. Philosophy in Edo was closely connected to ethics and daily behavior. The most influential ideas came from Confucianism. This philosophy emphasized respect, duty, family relationships, and social order. According to these ideas, society worked best when everyone understood their role and behaved responsibly. Samurai were expected to be loyal and disciplined. Merchants were expected to be honest and hardworking. Children were expected to respect their parents. These values shaped education, government, and family life. Buddhist and Shinto beliefs also influenced thinking. Buddhism focused on ideas like suffering, impermanence, and inner peace. Shinto focused on nature, spirits, and harmony with the environment. Many people combined these beliefs in their daily lives without conflict. Philosophy in Edo was not just abstract thinking. It was practical and connected to how people lived every day. Art was another important part of intellectual life. Painters, calligraphers, and craftsmen created beautiful works inspired by nature, stories, and everyday life. Woodblock printing became especially popular. This technique allowed artists to create multiple copies of images. These prints often showed landscapes, actors, beautiful women, or scenes from daily life. Art was not only for the rich. Many middle-class citizens could enjoy and collect printed artworks. This made Edo a culturally rich and visually creative city. Edo was full of learning spaces. Temples, schools, private homes, and shops all served as places of education and discussion. People gathered to read, write, and exchange ideas. Even merchants and craftsmen often had basic education, which allowed knowledge to spread widely. Books, art, and conversation connected people across social classes. Knowledge was not limited to one group. It slowly became part of everyday urban life. By the year 1700, Edo had become more than a political and economic center. It was also becoming a cultural and intellectual city. Education was spreading. Books were being printed. Ideas were being shared. And people were learning more about the world around them. Even though Japan was still traditional and structured by social class, the foundation of a knowledge society was slowly forming. This would later help Japan transform in future centuries. One of the most impressive features of Edo was its organization. Even without modern technology, the city functioned with surprising structure. The government carefully managed districts, taxes, and public order. Neighborhoods were divided based on social class and occupation. Samurai areas, merchant districts, artisan zones, and temple zones were all planned with purpose. This organization helped the city grow smoothly even as its population reached nearly 1 million people. In many ways, Edo was one of the largest and most organized cities in the world at that time. Culture in Edo was deeply connected to daily life. It was not something separate or distant. It was everywhere. Festivals filled the streets with music, dancing, food, and celebration. Seasonal events like cherry blossom viewing brought entire communities together. People enjoyed theater, storytelling, poetry, and visual arts. Even simple daily activities, like visiting a bathhouse or walking through a market, were part of the city's cultural identity. Entertainment was not only for the rich. It was shared across many social groups. This created a strong sense of community and cultural unity. Although Edo did not have modern machines or industrial technology, it still showed impressive practical innovation. Woodworking techniques were highly advanced. Buildings were designed to survive earthquakes better than many Western structures of the same time. Water systems and canals helped transport goods and manage city logistics. Fire prevention systems, including organized firefighting groups, were developed because fires were a constant threat. Printing technology allowed books and images to spread quickly. These innovations were simple, but very effective for their time. They helped Edo function as a massive urban center. By 1700, Edo was already one of the largest cities in the world. Its population was growing rapidly. People came from rural areas seeking work, trade, and opportunity. The city expanded outward with new neighborhoods and districts. Streets became busier. Markets became larger. Housing became more dense. Despite challenges like fires, overcrowding, and limited space, Edo continued to grow. The city adapted constantly to change. This ability to grow and survive made it one of the most important urban centers in history. Society in Edo was structured into clear social classes. At the top were the samurai. Below them were farmers, who were considered important because they produced food. Then came artisans, who created goods. At the bottom were merchants, although many became wealthy and influential over time. Even with this hierarchy, the city functioned through cooperation. Each group depended on the others. Samurai needed merchants for goods. Merchants needed farmers for food. Everyone played a role in the system. This structure helped maintain stability for many years. Beyond systems and structures, Edo had something more emotional, a unique spirit. It was a city of resilience. Fires, disasters, and challenges were common, but people rebuilt again and again. It was a city of creativity. Artists, writers, and performers expressed themselves in many ways. It was a city of discipline. People followed rules, traditions, and social expectations. And it was a city of growth. Over time, it transformed from a military capital into a cultural and economic center. Modern Tokyo is one of the largest and most advanced cities in the world, but many of its roots come from Edo. The organization of neighborhoods, the importance of commerce and trade, the love of art, literature, and theater, the respect for tradition combined with innovation. All of these elements began during the Edo period. Even today, visitors to Tokyo can still see traces of this history in temples, streets, festivals, and cultural traditions. Edo did not disappear. It evolved. It transformed into the modern city we know today. The story of Edo in 1700 is not just about the past. It is about how cities grow, how people live, work, learn, and create together, and how human societies develop over time. From a powerful shogunate capital to a modern global city, Tokyo's journey is one of the most remarkable transformations in history. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey through Edo in the year 1700. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel for more history content. And don't forget to comment below. Which city should we explore next? See you in the next video.